Okay, right. So the UK has been rioting, the whole place is burning, broken Britain is burning, and whose side am I on? I'm on the white people's side, or am I on the Muslim side? Do you know whose side I'm on? I'm on the side of the people who are multicultural, who meet up after these riots have happened every single day, clean up. People who are white, Muslim, just brown, just everything. They're everything. Man, woman, gay. You know, I like these people. But let's talk. So I'm not on either side. I'm not on either side. I don't like the white people, and I don't like extremists on the other side that are Islamic. Now look, I actually don't mind Muslim people. I don't mind white people. I like them both, right? Okay, but I do have a lot of criticisms to make of both these groups of people, okay? White people, not so much because they don't choose to be white, okay? But anyway, let's just get on with this, right? Birmingham was the worst. And why was it the worst? It's not the fact that it was Islamic, right? That's not the reason why it was the worst, though it was. It was just Islamic, right? A lot of these protests, well, they're not fucking protests. If I ever say protests in these videos, right, I mean riots, okay? This Islamic riot that apparently they're showing up because they expected a far right one. First of all, I'll get onto why it's not far right, but a random pub got destroyed, and I'm guessing this is because alcohol is haram, but this was just uncalled for. It was random. This pub has done nothing wrong. No one in this pub, none of the customers or anything, have done anything wrong. These Islamic people were just violent in Birmingham. So after a UK stabbing of some black kid with a name that looks like alphabet spaghetti, the UK went mental, and it has done for the last like 8 or 9 days. Southport, Middlesbrough, Hull, Nottingham, Plymouth, Birmingham, so many other places. All of them being in England except for Belfast, but I imagine that is going to change. I mean, the man was apparently from Cardiff. But I'm not involved in this, okay? I have seen Middlesbrough's up close, first hand, for a few hours, but I'm not on either side. They're both dickheads. It is a race war, and just because there's no bombs, just because there's not great weapons of mass destruction, just because you haven't seen any guns, doesn't mean that it's not a war. Like, it's a civil war, okay? Israel versus Palestine is a war. Things get destroyed, people get hurt, right? I've seen Islamic people with machetes, eh? Like, things are getting destroyed, doors are getting booted down. It's a war. It's a civil war. It's a race war, okay? Just like Israel versus Palestine is pretty much a race war. I mean, it's Jewish people versus Islamic people. That's a race war. It's a fucking race war. White British and Islamic extremists going at it against each other in this war in the UK, and they're massive across the entire UK. Both white people are big, but not as big as Islamic people in the UK. Can you believe I'm saying that now? It's been going on for over a week, getting on 2 weeks. Every day, consistent violence for hours in every town, and if it's not in your town, then there's a town 10 minutes or 10 miles away that is getting fucking haunted by this. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't know about you, but I think I live in a pretty safe area, and I've heard helicopters across my house. Let's look at some of the countries that have advised against travel against the UK. Okay, so Nigeria, Australia, Indonesia, United Arab Emirates, and a few others, they've all rightfully put up travel warnings against the UK. I live in the UK, okay? It's bad here at the moment. It's really, really fucking bad. I've got a friend who went to America a few weeks ago, and she's still there. She can't believe what I've told her. There's just fire. There's fire, and doors are getting booted down, and there's just countless amounts of streets where every single car is destroyed, every single window is destroyed. It's bad. Both sides are racist because both sides are picking on people specifically of certain colours, like to attack on the spot. But listen, I just want to say I'm going to criticise both sides in this, and I'm going to criticise the Muslims first. I'm going to defend the Muslims in the second half of the video, so please don't get a fucking hissy fit about it, okay? Let me just say my part about you. You can disagree in the comments or whatever, that's what they're there for. So let me say what I want to say, okay? Because I live in the UK, and I have done for my entire life. So anti-racist protests are what the Islamic ones are being described as. You mean those Islamic extremist protests where a white man who's just wandering about gets beaten up outside of a pub by Palestine supporters because he's a different race. One man by himself getting beaten up by multiple Pakistanis or wherever the fuck they come from, South Asians. Yeah, no, that's anti-racist, yeah. Are we forgetting that white people are a race? You're letting random boats in and mixing races that contradict each other. England is an all-inclusive country that allows you to be gay, black, white, English, French, Asian, Indian, Jewish, Hindu, Christian, whatever. Muslim countries, and this is what I mean when I say they contradict each other, right? That's the fucking, I'm being a realist here, right? Muslim countries, they only allow Islam. Egypt has Islam and Christianity, and the Christians get fucking killed for that, okay? You have to be Islamic in an Islamic country. There's a part in the Quran where the religious rules of Muslims, it makes them see us as enemies. Kill all non-believers is a very famous line from the Quran. We are all enemies of Islam. However, we are also, despite saying that, apparently we're all Muslims who haven't realised it yet. Elon Musk posted about how 1,400 children were raped in the UK by Asian gangs back in 2014. You can see it's 2014 because it was when Man United signed Di Maria. Yet two-tier Keir Starmer is not standing for this at all. He's not handling it, okay? He can go fuck himself in every feasible way. He has been so biased to the side of the Islamic extremists, he's not even calling them that, right? You know those racist murderers who can't be criticised because they're brown country people, because they're South Asians? They're bad, right? Being a racist, violent person is horrendous. Being called racist, why is that even? Like, if you speak in facts, it doesn't matter. You need to go against the grain sometimes. When Rosa Parks never scooted over on the bus, that was seen as the worst thing ever, right? Hitler was seen as a hero. I mean, the word racist has got all this power. It doesn't deserve it. Can we not just go back to a fact-based world? But anyway, irregardless of who this Cardiff lad is, with probably about 10 middle names, it doesn't matter who he supports, who he believes in. Islamic people, to me, are the most violent. And I say the most violent because they're violent most often and they're the most harshest with their violence when they are violent. A white person will just beat the fuck out of you. They're both bad, but fucking hell, I'd rather be a victim of a white person. I mean, the news is biased towards the Islamic extremists. The cameras are turned off.
Community leaders have been speaking to the police as well because...
Yo, free Palestine! Free Palestine!
But I think, apologies for the language you're hearing, but a sense of the anger, I think you can hear there.
Yeah, Casey, I think we...
And that trigger of a gun there, right down the lens of the camera, that's reassuring, isn't it?
And then they went on to, this group of young Muslim men, the Clumsy Swan pub in Birmingham, and they were waving Palestinian flags. Of course, that has to get involved into the mix. And they attacked a man. A quick warning here. This clip contains some very violent images that some of you may find distressing.
So that guy had gone out into the beer garden on his own and was just stood there in his T-shirt, and he was slightly sort of going, come on then if you think you're hard enough, but he was clearly not involved. He's not there politically. He'd obviously just wandered out having a pint. So let's go now.
The live news broadcast is turned off when they're threatened with gun signs off the Islamic people. Sky News are ignoring the machetes that the Islamic people have in the backgrounds of their videos. And also, there's more Islamic people now in the UK than there is white people. And you can tell me something like, oh no, actually, the UK is this percentage white and this percentage black, and like, no. I've been to Middlesbrough and Stockton, and I've been to Birmingham and East London, and no, I've just never seen, I just don't see white people. You can't tell me this. I can't imagine Japan not having Asian people, not having Japanese people. Keep Japan Japanese, keep Saudi Arabia Saudi, keep England English. This is how I feel, right? However, some people should definitely come in legally and mix the cultures up a tiny bit, but England is not English anymore. This is awful. No wonder London's burning. If everyone's own country was full of their own nationalists, every country would be a lot better. The news also like to call these riots from the Islamic people counter-protests. They're not anti-racist, they're racist killers, okay? The Middlesbrough riots were promoted in a sentence, as in for the white people, was promoted in a sentence saying it doesn't matter if you're black, white or pink, and the wrong people ended up showing up. Racist white people ended up showing up. In Middlesbrough, I saw Muslims holding Nazi salutes. Both sides were bad. I've criticised the Islamic side, I'd like to go for the other side. Now, I'd like to criticise the white people. So, first of all, this white people fucking bollocks is not far right. I've seen 6-year-olds there. These 6-year-olds don't have fucking political opinions. They just want to smash shit up, right? And you might think, oh, they're only 6 years old. Like, no, it's not just that. Like, there's people of all ages, there's grown adults, right? They all just want to fucking smash shit up. And what are you gonna do? Protect your van? They don't give a fuck if you're left or right wing. They just care if you're white. Is Tommy Robinson to blame? No. His protests are actually protests. They're not riots. They're peaceful. Everyone in these riots are on drugs and has no brain cells. What did I see in Middlesbrough? I saw one house that had a car that cost more than the fucking house, and it got destroyed in the window, so the guy had to quickly come out, this little fucking South Asian man, and he had to drive away. Somehow got away. I've seen kids attacked in their home, like doors booted down. I've seen families of South Asians looking through the window, peeping through. They've noticed that they're not white. Fucking missiles thrown right at them. Little kids. I've seen a Chinese shop protected because this fucking druggy lad whose name was called Matthew, because I heard his name, was like, don't leave us alone, leave the chippy alone, they've not done anything, it's not them. I saw a white man in a window, and that same Matthew guy was like, you know what you're doing, the white man, we won't attack you because you're white. And I also saw this orange shirt kid who was just a fucking retard. He kept trying to smash shit up and failed. I've seen wheelie bins set on fire, I've seen skips set on fire and thrown at police. I've seen cars light up in flames, multiple cars. I saw an Egyptian woman, right? And I said to her, look, the crowd's right there, I'm white, I will help you get your car through. I helped this Egyptian lass get her car through, and she got through safe, right? Obviously, there were a couple of dickheads who fucking booted the back of her car. However, her car was safe, got her away. My brother ended up helping this black woman. He ended up saying to her, just fucking don't walk towards these protests. So she was protected by me brother. I've seen... Like I say, I've seen doors get just fucking booted through for no fucking reason. Like, no one knows who lives here. Hoover's stolen from these fucking houses. And then this guy, this orange shirt kid I mentioned, had this Hoover, and every single window he walked past in this one street was just fucking putting every single window through. There are so many streets where so many, in fact, every fucking window is put through. Every fucking window. I have seen cars explode. That Matthew kid that I mentioned, he was on a bike, right? And whilst the car had already exploded, that made a few bomb noises a couple of times, he still cycled towards it. And of course it went off again. Fucking idiot. But I just want to say this, right? Do you remember Black Lives Matter? That was just as bad. They destroyed streets. They fucking destroyed Churchill's statue. How would I sort these riots out? So first of all, Keir Starmer, fucking resign, you're a cunt, right? Two things have to go. Drugs. Drugs we need to get so fucking harsh on cocaine and weed. By the way, right, even cigarettes, like, don't ban cigarettes. Like, you know, Rishi Sunak, I don't have anything good or bad to say about him, but I actually kind of liked what he said when he said, oh, we'll keep putting the cigarette age up by 1 year every year. So let's say you're fucking 23 and you'll always be the youngest no matter how old you are to smoke a cigarette. But drugs and Islam need to go, both of them, okay? Islam, in some countries where there's no other religion, Islam is terrific there, such as the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. But Yemen, England and Iran have shown why Islam is just not good for the planet. Poland and Hungary get called racist for not letting loads of fucking people in, and they're not having riots because they've not mixed religions. Well, some religions are peaceful, most of them are peaceful. However, I'm not gonna lie, there's one religion that definitely is a cult, and that is Islam. They come over to the UK on a boat, send them back. France is safe-ish, Denmark is safe, all these European countries near England, which are just... Why come to England when you're living in good countries? That's because we offer them too much. We offer these immigrants too much. They are rapist murderers who we know nothing about, and they're here to invade our country to make it their Islamic own. Call me Islamophobic if you want, but you'll never call me a liar. I love my Muslim friends, just not their cult. I will never ever say something that you can just fucking say is not a fact. Everything I say is true. Call me Islamophobic, I don't care. Also, Christianity needs to come back. Islam does boot out a lot of cancer, but I bet Hitler did as well. I mean, the evil's too much. Jimmy Savile did some good, but he's too evil. Hitler probably did some good, but he's too evil. Islam probably does some good, but it's too evil, right? You're at fault in Israel, by the way, so it's the Muslims' fault over there. That's not me defending everything Israel does, but I'm just saying it's your fault. And you're at fault in the UK as well. They don't stand up for LGBTQ, do the Muslims, and I agree with them on that, but they're also nonsense themselves. Muhammad, who, by the way, was a liar and just a fucking average bloke, he's not a god and never has been, he's fucking dead. He was married with children as young as 6, 9, 11, when he was 56 years old. Islam needs to go. Riots. For these riots, I do just say, wait some time and they will go. I mean, there's already been, apparently there's fucking 100 arranged today. Bearing in mind I'm recording this on the 7th. Yeah, how do I think these will end? Just wait. Over like a week or so, week or two, these riots will finish, because there's already apparently been 100 arranged, and some of them just haven't fucking nout's happened of them. There's mostly Islamic ones happening, but they're bad. They're both bad. The UK, would I suggest moving out? Yes I would. Leave the UK. Just it's bad over here. Where would I recommend living? Japan, Hungary, Poland. These are good countries. Who knows where they'll be in 10 years? Who knows where they'll be in 20 years? It might just be as bad as this. There was a Europe invasion happening, and it's by Islamic people. Drugs and Islam needs to go. If we get rid of drugs, Islam, and by the way, LGBTQ can get fucking shot at that as well. If we get rid of these things, we're on to a fucking winner.